what's going on, everyone? Before we get into our conversation, I want to let you know this podcast is sponsored by BetRivers.com. BetRivers.com, the best place for all your sports gambling needs. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. You can also watch all of these episodes on the Field of 68 YouTube channel. Now, let's get into our conversation. Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Eric Devendorf, your host of the Scorers Table podcast. And today we got another great guest, a SU legend, one of the greatest shooters in SU history. He actually set record for most threes made in a row without a miss in the Big East tournament, as well as most threes made in the Big East tournament with 20. This is my guy, one of the best guys off the court as well. My guy, James Southerland. Appreciate you coming on, bro.
Yeah, appreciate you having me on the show.
All good, man. So let's start in Queens, man. I know, obviously, just growing up in New York City, in Queens areas, basketball is all around you. So kind of talk about just growing up around there.
Man, yeah, growing up in New York City, like almost any city, like especially New York City, basketball is a culture. So like everyone grew up playing basketball. There'd be so many people playing basketball, whatever career path they take. Like they always started in AAU, since probably like started playing like second grade. Started off on a little, I actually live in Queens, borderline Long Island, played with a little Long Island team, Long Island Valley Stream Knicks, Long Island Lightning. So I've been around. So it's been a fun journey. I never knew how far I could get with it, but I know I could be potentially good. And met a lot of great people, great basketball players. I feel like growing up, people considered our class, like around 2008 class, one of the best to come out of New York City at the time. We had so many people, a lot of pros during that time. So like it was, not only was it it was competitive as hell, and you either get better or you just fade out. So that's how it was over here.
So I guess who got you started? What got your interest peaking? To even start playing the game?
Oh, my father played ball, but he's only like 6'1". He's 6'1" shooting guard. He's a shooter. That's why I learned how to shoot. So luckily my mom's side is tall, so she's like 5'9". Everybody over there is like 6'8", 6'6" and stuff. So I'm like, all right, I got the height from there. I got the skills from my dad, so that definitely worked out.
What? So you went to Cardozo High School. Yep. Obviously Cardozo is a well-known school, not only in the city, yep, but nationally, with the great coach Ron. How do you say, Coach?
Ron DeClario.
Yeah, Ron DeClario. Yeah, he's a well-known name in the city. So kind of talk about going there, playing for him and playing in that system.
Well, it's funny because Cardozo High School is a public school. And at the time, a lot of people didn't go. Public schools wasn't the thing. It was like all the Catholic schools, Christ the King, Bishop Lachlan, all the Catholic schools. So when I think like 8th grade, I became like one of the top in the city. And then so when I told them I was going to Cardozo, everybody was confused. Like, why would you go there? Like, it's a public school. Like, they have some players that went D1 and pro and all that stuff, like Royal Ivy, Dwayne Carswell. But like no one wants to go there. People go to Catholic school. So I felt like this is the perfect situation for me. It wasn't far from my house. Other places like Bishop Lachlan in Brooklyn, and let me tell you, I'm not getting up to go to school in Brooklyn. Not from Queens. So I was like, nah. Well, I was on the like Long Island side of Queens too, so like Queens, Long Island. So Brooklyn was be a trip. But I thought it was a good situation. Coach had a lot of connections. Had a lot of friends already over there. So I just felt like it was perfect for me.
So wait, you're just able to walk to school then?
No, I had to take 2 buses, but 2 buses, like it's like a 30-minute compared to an hour and 30 on going to Brooklyn. Well, on the bus and train. So no, that wasn't happening every day. No way.
Yeah. Queens, big as hell. So
no, facts. It's funny though, like because Syracuse is one of my dream schools. My Coach Ron DeClario, he knows everybody, and then I remember the first time I actually knew who you were. It was crazy. Like he was, went to, so you guys, it was NIT, beginning of the year. We went to go see, like, I think Florida was in. Was Florida playing in that? It was one day.
In the Garden?
He's in the Garden, yep.
Okay, yeah.
And then, so, like, I know Florida had some interest in me, and I was like, joking, I knew who he was. He was all, like, he was over there. I was like, no, he knew I like Syracuse and all that. So he saw GMAC. I'm like, who's that white boy over there? He said, oh, that's not no white boy. That boy's ball, bro. And that's how I watched. It's like, yo, this guy got some skills. I'm like, oh shoot, like, he's really nice. I didn't really know anybody. Like I was like ninth grade. I had no idea. Like,
Yeah, that was my freshman year.
yeah, I know. He was hooping. I was like, yo, this boy's nice. So then like he told me that's not he. I'm a fucking like he's from Detroit. And I was like, yo, you know what? All right, shoot. See different type of breeds, but no, it was cool. Like that was my first introduction like to Eric Devendorf. Like, oh, okay, he's gonna be nice. He's nice as hell. So,
yeah, that was Texas Tech, Florida.
Yeah.
I think us in Washington, I want to say, or maybe Ohio State.
Yeah. It was
I think it was Wake Forest, matter of fact.
Wake Forest? Oh.
Yeah.
So it was good. That was my first. That was like, oh, okay. So I get to see these boys in person. But yeah, it was nice.
So early on, so you said 8th grade you went to the game. So shit, that must have been.
No, it was 9th grade. It was ninth
grade. Okay. So
9th grade to 10th grade. One of those times. Yeah.
Well, was it early on for you that you really started getting noticed? Like you like, okay, this dude, I know you were taller probably than a lot of the kids, but when did your recruitment really start to, I guess, heat up a little bit?
Honestly, like I would say, like I started shooting up from eighth grade. I was probably like 6'5". So I'm like, all right, this guy might like shoot up a little more. And I was always a shooter, but growing up, in New York City, everything's guard heavy. We got tons of guards.
Yeah.
So I'm always play at the 5 or the 4. So it's like but I could shoot too. Yeah. So it's like it was kind of confusing. So like I'll play on some teams where we're just playing the 5, 4, just doing hustle stuff. But then I'll be on like some teams like Metro Hawks where like they're like, oh, you're not a big man, point here, take the ball, you like Lamar Odom, point forward. So that would just completely mess everything up. So like once I started getting that confidence, like you could really be point forward out there. Like why have a guard bring it up? All New York City guys do is press, but nobody ever knows what to do when a big man's bringing the ball. It's like, who do you press? You press him, he's gonna pass it. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's when I really started blowing up. And that's when the recruitment started getting bigger and stuff like that. But honestly, going to Cardozo because Coach Ron DeClaro had all the connections, all the looks. He was telling people, yo, I got a kid who's about to be 6'8" and can really has all this, like has a skill set to really be like really good.
So he's still there too, right?
He's still there. Still the same dude, wilding, screaming, kicking, and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he born and bred right there. Like that's like his whole life.
He's a legend. He played he played on the White Sox, dude, on Major League Baseball. He was on the White Sox, Chicago White Sox and all that. But his passion was basketball. He loved basketball and all that. He's got a hell of a history.
Yeah, I've known him for just from high school basketball. You know what I'm saying? When I was growing up, I remember hearing his name.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. He's a legend. He played at Rucker Park. He was in the Rucker Park playing. He used to play and all that. They call him the teacher. So
he looked like a teacher. He got
basically
shirt tucked in with a polo.
Always tucked in. Same beard.
Who's the first team that you got a letter from?
First school. Damn, I really don't remember the first school, but I remember the first major school was Louisville, because we actually remember Devin Ebanks went to West Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were on him heavy, and I was always like growing up. I was always his backup. You know what I mean? So like I was always Devin Ebanks' backup. But we played. He had a scrimmage over there. I played well, and the Kyle said, "Yo, you're gonna want to look at this kid too. This kid, he's gonna." I was hooping. I was like, "Oh my!" So that was the first that was like the first real letter of interest. Like, cause he saw me and he's like, "Yeah, I want him on my I'm interested in him." And then what you call it? Yeah, and then the other letters were like I remember getting some low D ones, but it's like how some people put you on the mailing list and then next all of them start coming and all that. So
right.
A bunch of more, yeah, so that's how it was. But that was the first real one. It was like McLeod was like, yo, you're gonna want this kid. You're gonna regret it if you don't sign him. You know.
When did Cuse come into play though? Like when did they start really getting on you?
Honestly, probably like after we saw y'all play in the Garden. So like I always knew I wanted to go there. So it's kind of like I was getting offers, but I was like, all right, I already know I want to go. So it's not even like a question. But after we saw you guys play, I think the next day or that same week of school, my coach said, all right, I'm calling Coach Hop. I was like, what? I was like, what? You just got his number like that? He's like, yeah, he started calling him. I'm not gonna lie, he was gassing me up, like, and I'm in the background, like, yo, chill, don't tell him I do all that. Like, he could throw off the backboard between the legs, all that. I'm like, yo, chill. He's not gonna believe that, because I think he told him like he could get up the court in less than 3 dribbles or something like that, and dunk it. I was like, I did it in front of him. I was like, oh shoot, okay, that's pretty dope. So he was cool, Coach Hop. Coach Hop was Coach Hop's energy and my coach's energy. That's they had the same energy. So it's like, all right, I'm gonna take your word for it. And then Coach Hop came down. He loved it. So I was like,
yeah, all three are your energies.
Go back. Always hyper.
What was a crazy recruiting moment with Hop? Like, what was one of the moments that stuck out in your head?
Oh man, like what you mean?
Like just like him coming to see you, or you on a recruiting trip? What's something that he did?
Honestly, with Hop, like he would come down and say, how's it going, everything like that. He was always calm. It's not until I got to Syracuse, I'm like, yo, this guy's different. Yeah, it's like he flipped the switch. I was like, here we go. But his energy was always 6 a.m. You know how it was 6 a.m. He's just ready to go, up yelling and screaming. But he definitely has great energy, positive energy and all that. That's the type of guy you like to see.
Let me tell you guys a little bit about our partners over at BetRiver Sportsbook. If you haven't signed up with BetRivers yet, now's the time, because they are offering a $250 match bonus for your first deposit. But what sets them apart is that they require just one playthrough to turn your bonus into cash money. With their new Rush Pay Instant Approval, withdrawing your winnings is safer, more secure, and more reliable. With basketball season right around the corner, there's never been a better time to get in on the action by going to BetRivers.com today or downloading the BetRivers iOS app. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call telephone number 1-800-GAMBLER. So you ended up going to, after Cardozo, you went to prep school, or was it for your senior year?
I went to prep school. I left my junior year at Cardozo and then went for senior year, then stayed an extra year for
at South Kent, right?
No, Notre Dame.
Excuse me, Notre Dame Prep. Sorry,
yeah.
Notre Dame Prep. So, how was that transition going from the city, and then going out to, I think Notre Dame Prep's out in the middle of nowhere, right?
Basically, Fitchburg, Massachusetts.
Yeah, what was that like for you?
It wasn't that bad, because I wasn't too far from home. It was like 3-hour ride, whatever. Okay. But being out there, it was like a little city. I would say it's like the little suburb city. So it wasn't bad at all. But it was different, like the basketball wise, because it's the first time. Like, I'm 17 years old, and I'm with a bunch of guys who are basically like 19, 20. Like, so like, and I just couldn't understand it. I'm like, I'm playing actually. I'm playing I don't know if you know Louisville's old guy, Terrence Jennings.
Oh yeah, Terrence Jennings, yeah.
He used to bust my ass every day, and I just didn't know why. I'm like, yo, what's going on? So like the competition just got so much better, and I'm over there like, what the hell's going on? I don't know. Like every day until one day I was like, nah, this is enough. So like I started hooping and stuff like that. But I got the confidence. I found out everybody was so much older, like they're a little bit older than me, like 2 years. I'm like, oh, we're gonna say, all right, bet this is gonna be a breeze. But no, they made me better. They made me a lot better. We had guys like Terrence Jennings, Kimmy English, who's coaching George Mason.
Yeah.
So we had a bunch of D1 guys. Those are 2 of them. We had D1 guys across the board. So like, imagine playing against them every day. I know how you know it is. Went to Oak Hill, so those battles every day would just naturally get you better.
What do you think that really prepares you for the transition going into Syracuse, right? Or already having played against those type of guys in that type of competition?
Most definitely, because every day is a battle. Like, and every day you got to get better, and that's how it was at Syracuse, because you want to hit that floor.
So what you finish up your high school career, your prep school career, and then you get ready to come into Syracuse that first year. What was your first memory like stepping right on the campus, knowing that you was in college, you was a college basketball player? What do you first remember stepping on Syracuse campus?
Ooh, let me see. I remember, matter of fact, this is what I remember. I remember leaving prep school. It was around April. I'm going right into Maymaster. Like, yo, what's going on? It was like,
oh man.
it was like instant. It was just boom, like we're going to work. So like that's kind of what I remember. Everything just happened so fast to the point we're not even realizing it. It's just like I basically just finished up that season and then went right to Maymester. So it was hitting the ground running. It was nonstop from there.
Let's talk about your first year a little bit, because you come in and all 4 years you played on great teams. So you won a lot of games in your Syracuse career. But what was it like now? Because you were the man in high school, right? And now coming onto a team that really had a lot of veterans on the team.
Yeah.
Your freshman year, and guys who are already established. So how was that? Not as playing as much as you're accustomed to, and then having to play behind guys and then getting used to that role. How was that for you coming in?
It's always tough. It's always tough. I feel like it's tough for anybody, no matter what age you are. When you're used to a certain way of your whole life, basically being that guy.
Yeah.
And basically having a limited role, not even just a different role, not even limited, like just different role. You're gonna have to adjust, and especially going to school like Syracuse. One of the reasons why I stayed an extra year, because the fact that we were so loaded. Like we didn't know who was coming back. We wasn't sure like who was gonna stay. That's another thing. If things could have changed if everyone stayed, you know what I mean? I probably wouldn't have a scholarship, especially at that time. It was a weird time because you guys went from having like 7 scholarship players like Dante Green, Johnny Flynn, you guys, to basically loaded the next year. Like we might not have any scholarships. So I think that was a turning point for me, because like I understand I'm not going to play much, but I feel like I could contribute to whatever was going on. Let's say like 5-6 minutes a game as a freshman. I'm not even going to play. No, there's just way too much talent. There's no way. So like I feel like it was hard, because I feel like sometimes you feel like, you're never gonna get out there. Not this year, you know what I mean? And I felt like starting my freshman year, it was kind of like we know he's good, but we don't know how good he is. You know what I mean? Let's throw him on the floor, see what happens. And he start getting a couple buckets here and there. Like, okay, he's better than I thought. And as you realize, like, okay, I could really play here, then your hunger for more always develops.
What did you do to stay locked in? I mean, what are some things that really, when you didn't play or you might have a bad practice or what who was there for you? And what are some of the things that helped you, stay on focus?
Oh man. I mean, the thing is everybody was there for me. So that was one of the blessings about being there, because there was not one person who wasn't there for you, guys like Chris Joe, you got Mookie Jones, coach, you got coach staff, Coach Hops telling you how it is, this is what's going to happen. All those guys, everybody knew what it was. And as a freshman, you don't really know what you're getting into. And, that's I think that's part of the process of learning. I was like, when I was a freshman, I was learning how to get through that process of doing what you got to do to make sure you are prepared to play when you get in the game. So, no, it was basically a collection of everybody, especially Bernie. I don't know how people remember. Bernie used to be on my ass, bro. I tell you, I think that was the first one who really, because I went in there with a a New York City attitude about how I'm gonna do it my way or it's gonna work. It wasn't gonna work my way. So Bernie was always one to let me know that. So like, listen, it's not gonna work this way. So
yeah, Bernie will humble you, right? He'll bring you right back down.
Humble you real quick. How many times I was in his office? Like I was I was always in trouble with Bernie. He's like, no, Bernie wasn't even he was the big man coach, but I was always with him. Like, all right, no.
He might put you in the office just and tell you to get some books, and it ain't even.
No, for real, that's what it was. I'm like, yo, what's going on? Up. Bernie has lessons for days, so that was cool. That was funny though. And like Bernie was definitely one of the guys, Coach Bernie Fine. Because he's from Brooklyn, right? Coach Bernie Fine from Brooklyn, I think. He was born there. He's like, listen, I'm from, I know what it is. So like he was always let me know.
Yeah, Bern, he'll go ahead and ask you a question. I already know the answer, so just he gonna make it. So if you lie, he already know you lying. Right. He got spies out there for class, all type of shit.
Oh, well, he had the managers out there on deck. So where were you?
Hiding behind the fucking. I mean, like, man, you fucking.
You remember that? And they do the little peek in the classroom, see if you're in there and all that. I'm like, I'm here. Yeah.
I used to be mad as shit too. Like, man.
Oh man, he used to always send Staffman on me. Staffman, we over here looking at him like, yo, Staffman, I'm here. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. I'm going to be here. Yeah.
Man. So, like I said before, you played on 4 great teams in your 4 years. Sweet 16, Final Four, Elite 8, and then you made it every single year to the tournament. Out of all those 4 teams, what team do you think is the best team?
Whew. Honestly, it would have to be my first. Huh?
It's a lot of talent in those 4 years.
A lot of talent. I mean, I think by far my freshman year was the most talent I think we ever had at Syracuse, like ever. And like just based on the fact that we had West coming from Iowa State. AO was a monster. I think nobody could stop AO inside. We had Andy. Andy was getting, I don't know how many triple doubles Andy had that year, but he was really racking up triple doubles. So we had new baby Brandon Trish. You know, he was out there figuring out the offense. We had Scoop, who was also helping him out.
Yeah,
that was by far one of the toughest years. Chris Joe, who was breaking out. Chris Joe, did he get was he 6th man of the year that sophomore year? I think he might have got 6th man of the year.
That was his sophomore year, right?
Yeah, I think that was big. Yeah, he might have. It was crazy. It was really crazy during that time. So, and then you had us babies over there getting better too. We had Rick Jackson. Rick and AO clean up the boards. We had a real big physical presence. So it was kind of hard for other teams to hang with us.
So AO doesn't get hurt. It's definitely national championship type shit.
Facts.
Yeah, that's what
that year. That was kind of like, that was a WTF moment. But like, we had AO, that would never happen. So yeah, that was. I don't even know what our record was. We had a long win streak. But we might have went long. Like, honestly, my time there, I don't think we
lost the Lemoyne game. Right? You lost the Lemoyne game, and then
we did lose to Lemoyne.
After that, it was like you racked off about 20-something straight.
We needed that loss to Lemoyne. Let me tell you. And that's another thing. Let me tell you about Lemoyne, because it was with us working out. It was getting better too. So like that's how everything works. So like they're just down. We used to have them over there working out. Yeah, they came in and whooped our ass, and we were like, yo. And so like that's how good I feel like our team was. Like we were getting everybody better. Who if he was in there, you rose to the level of competition.
So every year your playing time got a little bit more, your scoring production got a little bit more, your production overall got a little bit more, but you never were a starter consistently. You always did that coming off the bench, which a lot of times is, for some people, it's hard to do. You got to create your own energy off the bench. You don't get to kind of feel it right away. Was that something that you really took pride in, coming off the bench and being like, all right, I'm the guy who needs to provide this scoring punch or just this energy punch? Or was it kind of like you in the back of your mind, you're like, damn, I wish I was starting?
Honestly, no. At that time, I mean, I don't think to my senior year I really wanted to start. But even after that kind of died down. But I feel as if I definitely embraced that coming off the bench role. And especially with having a lot of people, coaches, even my father telling me like, yo, like this, you're gonna get in the game. You just figure it out. Like, I feel like I had the personality. I feel like coming off the bench is also a personality type of thing. Like you have to bring that energy all the time, just natural energy. And I was always told, first of all, when you're on the bench, you're watching the game. There's 2 things that's gonna happen. Even if let's say you're better than some of the guys on any team, both teams, whatever. You're watching guys. You're seeing what they do well, what they're struggling with. Then you're coming in the game fresh. They're tired. As a guy who brings a lot of energy, it's not going to take you long to get warm. You're going to get in there a couple plays and you're kind of going with the flow. And I think that's the most important thing is when you're on the bench, you're analyzing, you're seeing what's going on. Let's say you see things that people don't see on the court. You know what I mean? Like, let's say I'm with you, I'm watching you. You scored 2 buckets in a row, and the ball stops coming to you. And now I sub in for somebody, and I'm running the floor. Eventually, me bringing that energy, will attract more people towards me. Maybe I get a quick layup or something like that, and then you'll get open shots. You know what I mean? Just trying to figure out basically basically just trying to figure out how to help somebody else. And you see that better on the bench versus in the game because you're really focused on the defense or so and so.
That's a hell of a perspective to have.
Yeah, you got to open your mind when you're over here going on the bench. But also you have people talking to you like, look what so and so is doing. Look what this guy's doing. So you're seeing that, and you know exactly what to do when you get in there.
Yeah, that's hard. That's hard to think like that too for some guys, especially, going back to talking about, you being the man that growing up, coming through high school, prep school, and now you come in, have to have that type of perspective off the bench. You gotta be a special type of guy to have that.
Yeah, I definitely feel that way as well. And yeah, that's basically why you're coming off the bench. You're coming off the bench to bring a spark, bring some energy, especially because let's say the first sub's not getting into like 4 or 5 minutes. A lot of guys get tired in 4 or 5 minutes, and then here you are now they got to guard you, guy who's just running around. So like, trying to making opportunities. So yeah, that's one of those things. But I definitely love coming in the game right into a press because Coach Boeheim will put me on the ball.
Yeah,
and I'm basically like, all right, yep. Now I'm chasing this guy I'm chasing this motherfucker whoever getting the ball. I'm going. So like I definitely like that part because I was on we do that 1-2-2 or 1-2-1-1. So like I was always on the ball. I like that.
Yeah, that I think that kind of got you going right away.
Oh yeah, that was definitely my thing right there.
And that's two, and we talked about it on the show earlier today, radio show. Two things that like great Syracuse teams usually like excel at: transition, and then utilizing the press. Yep. Like it always seemed to me like whenever a coach would throw that little press on either at the end of the first or second half or whatever, just to kind of create some more energy, it always fucking worked, right?
It always worked.
Always worked.
There was like one time, I don't know what happened. Was it sophomore year? We scored 10 points on the press, and they didn't get a half court. Like it's literally like we scored like 10, 12 points. They couldn't get the ball up half, and that's me coming right into the game off the bench. Boom, boom, steal. Like and they basically went on a 10-0 run with like less than 30 seconds on the clock. So that was definitely one of the significant moments that I remember. I was like, oh yeah.
You get to. I mean, it's easy when you get to play ball like that because now instead of having to go against and that's like kind of like I think why this team this year is struggling a lot because they got to have all their offense has to come, and you talked about it too, within half court. Like it's nothing easy. Like everything is like contested or highly guarded, right? And they're not getting any easy transition. And then the press, and just to be honest, like you're not going to use the press with the type of personnel that we got this year. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't really we don't have a who could be on the ball and just move sideline to sideline, and you got to have those. So that's when you're not able to utilize the strengths that usually make you a great team, it's tough. And you guys were great at it. Your teams were unbelievable.
I feel like we had a lot of guys who were flying around, and it's also communicating. But another thing is a lot of people don't understand. It's kind of hard pressing and going back to a zone, especially let's say you're chasing the ball. I'm in the back. I'm on the wing. I'm chasing the ball, and when he finally gets half court, you know how many times I get stuck on the same side as the other forward?
Yeah.
And you got to sprint. That's a pain to me. That's a pain because that's an open three, especially now and today. Everyone's shooting threes. Like that's the first thing everyone's looking for now. So like, yeah, it's really a communication thing as well.
Yeah, no question. Yeah. So your senior year, 2012, 2013. All right, it was a hell of a year, right? I mean,
oh yeah.
But a lot of ups and downs too. We talk about. We'll get to that. You got suspended 6 games, but we'll start with the Arkansas game.
Yeah.
Non-conference, go down to Arkansas. It's a fucking tough place to play.
Oh yeah.
Hostile environment, but you go in that bitch and hit 9 threes, 35 points, your career high. What was? I mean, before that game, did coach say something to get you going, or what was your mindset like going into it?
I mean, I feel like before that game, we had a couple of games where I let them know, like I was upset. Like I feel like I was putting the work in to finally be my senior year and finally be a starter.
Yeah.
And coaches, you could go in there furious as hell. He's gonna listen. He'll break it down. Listen, it's like I know you wanted to start. I know that's your thing. I know you feel you worked hard for it and all that. But he'll hit you with the look at Chris, and you can't be mad. Look at Chris Joe. He's 6th man of the year. Dion, and you've shown those flashes as well. So now you're sitting there coming on there all riled up, and you're like, yeah, I know. Like he's making good points. Like he's right. Like I get what you mean. But it's an ego thing. Like I want to be out there. I'm trying to be out there, and so it's like you get pissed off, and it's like, all right, I mean, you're really not that mad because you're 6th man, but you're gonna play 25, 30 minutes a game. So it's like, all right, so you know what's coming, and he was right, to be honest. Like, I mean, we had a great starting 5: Brandon, Mike, CJ, Rock. Who else? Oh, and Dewan started. That was a solid starting 5, but we kind of lack shooting out there. So like I already knew like once, but first couple of plays in the game, like who's coming out there hot? Not a lot of people can come out there hot. So I knew by the time I got in the game, which is about 5 minutes, 5 minutes, I was playing for the rest of the half. And now like, which goes back to what I was talking about, coming off the bench, analyzing the situation. People are tired out there. You're not going to get out to an open shooter who just got into the game when you've been playing for 5 minutes, and here I am. Just ready to go. I've been ready to go. I'm over here. I'm on the bench, fucking blowing my hands and shit. Just ready to get in there. Like, all right, I'm gonna fire this bitch because I know I'm not coming out. So yeah. So now, and that was the thing. I spoke to some other teams like, yo, we used to hate it because we'd be tired. And here you are coming to the game, running around and shit. So you're looking for a 3. So that definitely helped. But yeah, so like, and that's another thing. If when the starters did play well, and then I'm coming on the bench, it's like, damn, here we go. So it was that's I feel like that definitely helped us during our time there because we already had a great team, and our bench was just as impactful as the starters. And I feel like that's what kind of made my time there really good because there was no break for the opposition. You know, Chris Joe comes out. I mean, Wes Johnson comes out. Who they put in? Chris Joseph. It's like, oh shit, you know what I mean? It's nonstop. You don't get a break, and I think that's what Coach Boeheim's philosophy was during my time there. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, we know you're a starter, but you're coming off the bench because we don't want to give that team a break to where they can go on a run and put, like, you know, we want to deflate them. we want them to feel like there's no chance.
So after you hit, you know, your first 3, second 3, third 3, fourth 3. At what point, was it the 5th 3, the 6th 3? You were like, oh shit, I'm about to go. Did you have any recollection of like, hey, this is the record, or were you just like you was just out there shooting that thing? You ain't even have no type of thoughts.
I was shooting that shit. No one even let me know. Like, Coach Red was over there. Keep it up. Matt G-Mac was over there. No, especially during those times.
Yeah, they want to say that.
Yeah, exactly. No one's thinking about that. No one's. I honestly was not even counting. I couldn't tell you how many threes I had. All I know is that Mike was coming down with the ball and he was looking for me. It could be a one-on-one fast break. Mike is dribbling. He's turning back around and just throwing that shit behind him. Just catch and shoot that thing. So like that's basically how it became. But no, there was nothing I was really thinking about. Go in there, take a good shot. Once you get that heat check, that shit just kept falling. So I'm like, all right, I guess this is it. And it just got worse for them because like we said earlier, they pressed 94 feet 100% of the time. And now you got to chase my ass around coming off the bench. So imagine chasing those guys around 5 minutes into the game. Now you got to chase me around. Because I'm going to keep running.
No, yeah. That's a fact.
Yeah. So that was definitely good. And like we were talking about how defense turns to transition points. Everyone else is getting transition points. So we were getting a lot of stops, getting a lot of transition points, and now you got to look for the guy shooting the 3. So
you was getting a lot of 3s in transition.
Oh yeah, exactly. So and that's another thing. I feel like, I mean, that's crazy. It feels like forever ago. But during that time, nobody's running the floor and stop spotting up at the 3-point line. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's going to, now everybody does it now, but before it was going straight to the basket. No, I'm trying to go for that 3.
So go ahead. No, sorry.
I'm gonna say no. Coach Brown take my ass out if I he did take my ass out a couple years. Like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you going? No, shoot the 3. So like, yeah. So that was
Shit, he gonna get mad at you for not shooting. All right, bet.
Basically, that's a good thing, right?
That's a bet.
Yeah.
Was that the game that set the tone for you for the rest of the season? You individually, you personally?
Yeah, I feel like I definitely was like, all right. So that was when like I was like, okay, he's national watch. This guy's probably gonna be national sixth man of the year after that game. So that was that was definitely one of those games where I was like, all right, yeah. And now everybody knows what I do. It was one of those introduction games. Okay, now they know who I am. So now they know what to expect, you know. But also like they see me shoot threes, but I also take it to the basket. I actually love mid range. Mid range was always my thing. Yeah. But like Coach Hop always said, you hear Coach Hop in the midst, three is better than two. Every time you're passing by. So
You always say this shit like
yeah, three is better than two. So yeah. But I feel like, yeah, definitely. But I feel like for like Syracuse, my first game into Cuse, our first exhibition game, it was like 5 for 5 from three, 7 for 7 from the field. That was the game where I was like, all right. I had Scoop Jardine always was looking around. Where's he at? Just throw me the ball. Cash. He's like, oh my God, you like Dante Green? Huh? I was like, oh shoot, I guess you. I love Dante. I'll be Dante Green for you. So like, and it's always lovely for Scoop. Scoop got it because Coach Hopkins always say, there's no reason for you to take more than 1 or 2 dribbles. You're 6'8", you catch it, you shoot right over somebody, and then you got Scoop like that's an easy assist. Mike was the same way. Yup, easy assist, boom, right there. It's going up. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like that was definitely the game where I definitely put myself on the map and basically put kind of a target on your back. But I was cool with it. You know, I'm ready.
Yeah, so we talked about your senior year. It was a lot of highs. It was some lows, and then obviously it ended with that run to the Final Four. But let's talk about some of those lows, and that would be, you know, you getting suspended with that, you know, that 6-game suspension. I mean, after, you know, having 9 threes, playing well, you on a roll, you feeling good, and then finding out, you know, I got to sit out 6 games. Like, how tough is that mentally for you? Obviously playing so well, and then how hard is it for you coming back off of that, trying to pick up where you left off?
Oh man, like honestly, that was for me. It was heartbreaking. That was actually a game. My family was like, "Oh, we're coming for the game," just to find out I'm suspended, and it was like, "Yo, I'm just in my apartment. Like, I'm not going to this game." I'm like, and I didn't know it was going to be 6 games. I thought it was for the rest of the year. I'm like, what's this about? And it was just crazy because it started like, oh well, you know, you're like something like, oh, you wasn't getting enough tutoring, or you're not doing tutoring. Like, how do you mean you're not getting tutoring? So I had to pay a fine, and then it went to, I promise you, a week later it said, no, you're getting too much tutoring. So like, it went from not having any tutoring to now having too much excessive time or whatever like that. Because back then, I don't know how it is now, but it was definitely like, I guess they say,
fucked up.
Yeah, it was just so confusing. So like at that rate, you know, like the NCAA had a target on Syracuse. They were trying to get us for anything. So and Coach Bayon talked about like, yo, listen, you didn't do anything wrong. It's just the fact that this is how it is right now. And unfortunately, I was guilty before proven innocent. So like we couldn't take that chance of me. We couldn't take that chance of me playing those games just for them to get taken back.
Yeah.
So it was like you have to sit out until it gets figured out. And so it was. I already like in my mind, okay, this is over. Like, all right, I had a good half a year, so let's go out there. But it wasn't over as in like for like me basketball forever. Like I still working out and stuff. I'm not gonna lie. During that time, I was talking to Coach Red. It was depressing. Like I kind of didn't want to. I didn't want to come to the gym. I was like, all right, I really couldn't at the time because of the whole thing. Like I was still.
Where did you work out at? Where did they?
Oh, we had practice. I still had practice with the team and all that.
Okay.
But I walked in and told Coach, I just can't do it today. Like I was really heartbroken. Like he's like, I understand. Go ahead, take your time, do whatever. I had my individual workouts and stuff like that. But I feel like, I mean, for our team, we still hit the ground running. We played Louisville. They won, stuff like that. So like, it was good. But then after a while, you know, it's kind of like after a while you start adjusting. It's like, all right, we're missing that shooter. You know what I mean? We're missing the stuff that I do. you know, we had guys that stepped up as well. Jeremy stepped up big time during that time. Jeremy was killing, and it helped him a lot. It helped us a lot because we had somebody, you know, to count on. And also, when I got back, I think I got back to St. John's game. It was I hit the ground running. It was great. But then after we got like a couple games in, it was like, all right, no, it's not the same. I don't know what happened. It was that adrenaline, that finally getting out there, everything was gone, but we did struggle for a little bit.
Yeah, so you talk about that because you probably ended the season on you know, not such a good note, right? You know, lost a few games, obviously lost a big one to Georgetown.
Yeah.
And you talked about it the other day with Melo in the building, so probably wasn't the you know, performance you guys wanted to have. But how were you guys able to, you know, I guess recover from those losses and then be able to go into the Big East tournament? Or no, at the time was the ACC?
No, Big East. It was Big East.
Oh, Big East. Sorry, it should always be the fucking Big East. I don't know what the fuck.
Yo, facts for real.
Into the Big East and then make that run, man. Because I mean, I'm sure fucking the critics and everyone was like, you know, no way they're doing this type of shit. And so, like, how did you guys figure that out and make that happen?
Honestly, we were kind of shitty at the end of that year. We were kind of shitty at the end of the regular season. But we had some meetings. We actually had a team meeting in my hotel room. We were just talking like, yo, we just gotta get together. Like,
players only?
Yeah, back.
Okay,
Players only meeting and all that. But we had the staff as well, like managers and all that who were down there at the time. So yeah, so it was in New York. It was like right during the Big East tournament. That's when we got down there. So we was over there. We talked about it. And basically we did one thing. First of all, we were kind of like on TV all the time. They were always talking about us, how we're gonna fall out, this, that.
Yeah.
First of all, my roommate was Raheem. We don't watch ESPN. We didn't watch ESPN. We had cartoons on the hotel.
Yeah, Anna.
Yeah, all that shit. We were not watching no fucking ESPN. We hated ESPN. No, I don't think anybody. Maybe Michael Carter Williams, because Michael Carter was always watching them with, you know, all the stuff. He let us know everything. But besides that, we would not watch nothing about Syracuse. We didn't hear nothing about it. So we went in there like, you know, we have a clean slate now. This is a new season. So this is where we pick it up and turn it around. Our goal was to win the Big East championship. And I know we fell short, but like we figured we could pick it up from here. This is a clean slate. And honestly, we wanted Georgetown again. That we was like, oh, we need to fuck them up because this is no way. And honestly, to be honest, I feel like always fighting my 4 years to get to playing time, I never really felt that rivalry of Georgetown until that day we played them again in the Garden. I was like, oh, fuck these guys, because you know what? They took away they took away Melo Day. Oh,
remember that shit? Man, you did that.
Oh
shit?
Yeah. They took away
Otto Porter, right?
Yeah, they took. And I do talk shit, but you gotta take a lot for me to talk. So not that game. I was just talking shit to everybody. I was talking about his tattoos and all that. Like that's a shitty ass tattoo and all that. They was getting pissed. I was going, I'm like, what the fuck made you get that tattoo though? Like I was just pissing everybody off, which is helping me out. So like that's when I realized, okay, this is a Georgetown Syracuse rivalry. This is personal. I don't even know, dude, and I hate him. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
So yeah, but no, I feel like after that regular season over, we had to talk. We had a little struggle against Seton Hall. Seton Hall came out hot, and I think we did have one bye. We had one bye game. Then we played Seton Hall. Seton Hall won. That's another thing in the Big East. There were so many teams that you were afraid to have a bye because that team's coming out hot again. You know, so you had a day off, and then now here comes Seton Hall, who's talented as hell.
Yeah. But
you shouldn't lose them. You shouldn't lose them, and then they're coming up like 10, 15.
So what game, I guess, in that tournament, you guys were probably like to yourselves, oh shit, we could make this run. We could go to the Final Four.
Oh.
Or did it not just hit you guys till you be like, shit, you get to the Final Four, like, damn, we here.
I didn't even think it hit us yet. Honestly, I was one of those guys, especially like I talked about how I saw you playing in the Garden, your freshman year and all that shit. I'm a New York City guy, so Madison Square Garden is like everything for me. So the fact that we lost that Big East championship against Louisville, I cried that day. I was like, and Boeheim was talking shit to me. He was cursing me. I was like, "The fuck taking you so long to get on the bus, son?" Honestly, I don't know what I said. I was cursing, but when I sat down, I was fucking balling. I was tight. I never been so tight because I really couldn't. I was in foul trouble too, so I'm on the bench too. So I'm like, oh wow.
Senior year.
Yeah. Senior
Yeah.
year. And that was the last Big East. That was the last Big East tournament. The real Big East. No offense to. I mean, they're still good now, but it's like the last
right.
real, last real one, like with all of us in there. So that kind of hurt. And then when NCAA tournament started, I think we just took it one game at a time. We just really took it one game at a time. We honestly knew one game that was gonna be tough was Marquette. I feel like because I saw Marquette. I don't know what it was about the postseason. Marquette always fuck us up. It's scrappy. They always get in there. So that was a big game for us, and they fought hard. And I feel like our sophomore year when they had Jimmy and Jay Crowder, that was like they got us back. We beat them regular season, but they got us during that time, and they had it. So we didn't want that to happen again. So we kind of took one game at a time, and then all the talk about Indiana. Indiana's this. They're gonna do this. That's all you keep hearing about, but not us because we're watching cartoons and shit in the crib. So so like, and we came out ready to hoop. So we just I feel like those NCAA tournaments, Big East tournaments, you gotta take them one game at a time. You can't think too far ahead because too much. Yeah, as you know, too much shit happens.
That's a fact. What's your favorite moment in Syracuse jersey?
Favorite moment in Syracuse jersey? Oh man. Yo, honestly, damn, favorite moment while in the jersey? Shit.
Yeah, while in the jersey.
Honestly, yeah, this honestly going to the Final Four, that was a big one. Our Arkansas was big, of course, but like in the jersey, damn, I'm trying to think. No, probably nobody remembers this, but I think was it my sophomore year? I wanted to get a between the legs dunk so bad, but I was too nervous that coach was gonna take me out the game. So I did a windmill, and I promise you, the only person that fucking jumped off that bench was Mookie. Scoop came up the fast break, scooped it. I can't windmill that shit. It was talking shit. The only one that jumped up was Mook. It's like, yeah, because he knew I was gonna do it. He was so hyped. So now, like, what? Honestly, there's so many little moments that kind of don't mean anything to nobody else, but just to us, like, just knowing like everybody on the bench, we all talking about, oh, this boy, bet you won't do this. I bet you won't do that.
Fact.
Watch this shit. What you mean I won't do that? Watch this. Came in there, got with me. I love that. But there's plenty of moments. There's just plenty of moments. But I want this for probably my first game. That first game that made me feel like, okay, I belong here.
Yeah, no doubt. So, okay, favorite moment in a Syracuse jersey. Now, your craziest fan moment that ever happened to you in Cuse. Going into the mall, diner, all that. How that shit go.
Oh man, I never really had like that crazy fan moment because I'm always one bringing the crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm always one wilding instead of like Dad, I never.
Well, some of that where you was like where somebody came up to you and you like, fuck man, Syracuse don't play about this basketball shit. Like they really into it. You know what I mean?
Listen, I wouldn't say the craziest fan moment. We had a great time in New York City. I can't tell you what. But let's just say Peter Rosenberg from Hot 97 was like, listen, if you guys lose tomorrow, I'm a snitch. That's what he basically said on the mic. I can't tell you where we were, somewhere, Cuse, but I'm like, I'm not gonna lie.
Somebody but Cuse.
Yeah, something, our friend Sue over there, we had a great time.
The real ones know Cuse.
Yeah, right.
We'll just keep it at that.
Basically, so like that was a great time. I was actually on a date in there, and we had a hell of a time.
Whoa! That's a crazy date right there.
It was like a team date versus it was our team with St. John team. But no, it was fun. It was fun. We had a good time, and Peter Rosenberg was like, "Listen, if you guys lose tomorrow, I'm a snitch." That's all I gotta say.
Peter Rosenberg.
Yep.
And what? So your overall experience at Cuse playing for Coach Boeheim, what was that like, man? And what was he like as a coach for you?
I feel as if I feel as if how it was like for me. It's kind of like you go in there not knowing to expect. You see a guy, you never see him. You kind of really never see him spaz out during during the games and all that, and then you get a completely different guy once it's at halftime. So it's kind of like it's really you don't know what to expect because he he's a guy who wants you to fight back. He's cursing at you to get a reaction to make you. He wants to see that fire in you, and a lot of coaches don't like that. And I didn't realize like how much I could fit in the system. I mean, I know I could fit, 6'8", long arms, shoot the ball, energy athletic, but like mentally fit because a lot of guys can't handle that. A lot of guys have coaches who curse them out and they're not allowed to say anything. But you have Coach Boeheim who's waiting for you to curse him back, and it's like he'll finally push your button to you finally he gets that out of you, and then hit you with it. That's what I'm talking about, son. Now bring that to the, you know what I mean, like. Bring that type of energy to the court, and I feel like it was great. It was really great, and had all the coaches, assistant coaches around us, basically guiding us to this is how you're gonna get on the floor. This is how you're gonna get better. This is how you're gonna get to the next level. So it was I feel like it turned out great.
Yeah, you definitely hit it on the head. He definitely kind of gets on you to try to see what he can get up out of you if that makes sense. But
basically, and and I feel like you see how Coach Boeheim's not sensitive. You could curse him out, you could do that and that, but at the end of the day, he wants you to get that production out of you. And a lot of coaches can't handle that. A lot of coaches will go in there, they dish it, but they can't take it. You know what I mean? So like, and basically they'll get salty, and then you'll lose playing time for that. You're not losing playing time for that with Boeheim. He wants you to curse up so you can get more playing time. He wants to see you out there. You know what I mean? And that's what's different about him. I feel like he's definitely unique in that aspect to where he wants to see that fire in you.
So you had a great career at Cuse, man. Like we said, played on 4 years of 4 great teams, a lot of great players, a lot of great moments. But then you're able to graduate and play professional ball. You didn't get drafted, but you ended up getting picked up by the Bobcats, and then you had time with New Orleans, and then you played in various countries: Germany, Japan, Italy. How was that just to be able to fulfill like a childhood dream, bro? Like, because to be honest, like it's hard enough to go and play Division I college basketball. Yeah. Only less than 1% do that, right? And now you got to go play in the NBA. You got to go make money, playing ball professionally, which you're still doing now. Yeah. What was that like, man? Being able to step on that court, a kid growing up in Queens, dreaming of that, and then to be able to finally fulfill it.
Yeah, it feels great because like you said, a lot of guys don't get the opportunity to touch the NBA court, and I feel as if having good support, having a good support system. My family's always behind me all the step of the way. I basically, like you said, from second grade playing basketball, I feel like it was everyone around me. It wasn't necessarily myself because I believe in myself for sure. You got to believe in yourself to do all the stuff, but the people you have around you supporting you, helping you get better. And then you go, it's kind of like picking the right things, picking the right high school. A lot of guys want to go to the best high school, but you're not going to play over here. If you have the support system, help you get to where you want to go. Coach Ron DeClario helped me to get to where I go. He had people, he spoke to people. He believed in me as I believed in myself. And I get to Syracuse, see all the coaching staff, all the guys, they all believe in you. Like basically, they all helped you build your foundation to get to that point, which is one of the hardest points to get to ever. like to the professional basketball, forget NBA, just professional basketball.
Right.
And like we've always felt that support. I never got to be on the court with you, but since I was 16, I knew you knew we working out all the time and stuff like that. We played 2-on-2 right when you came up. It was basically me, Nick versus you and was it Tyler Ennis? Yep. So no, it was who was it? Who was it on my fault? Was it Tyler Ennis? Was it? No,
it might have been Tyler.
Yeah.
In the summertime, you remember though?
That's right. Yeah, I remember. Bro, that's exactly how it was. Like, yeah, it was just like we've always got the support from everybody in the Cuse family, from high school, all that. So like, I feel like that's a big part. That's a major part that goes underlooked. Like the people that you have around you. not only believing in yourself, but having people push you. I watch you work hard every day, every single day going there. It's till this day, you know what I mean? So I feel like just making the right steps and having the support around you helped a lot. And it's not easy, but at the same time, it could be done as long as, because I've been told my whole life, like, what, you're gonna be a guard, shooting guard, small forward? That's not happening, no way. And then they didn't know I could shoot. Next level, oh, you point forward, oh, that helps. Oh, you're going to Syracuse? People, when I told people, when I came to Syracuse probably like I was 16, like 16, 17, people were just like, what the fuck? Like, how? Like, my recruiting list didn't get to that point to where I could get more offers. Once I got my school, I was like, all right, screw it. And you coaches coming to me like, well, why'd you commit so fast? Because no, I already know I was going. Like, that was over with. So like, and then it's like, you're always getting questioned. Like, there's no way. How'd you get to Syracuse? How'd you get this? How'd you get that? Until you just gotta keep believing, because everyone's gonna doubt you. You know what I mean? Everyone's gonna go on there and tell you like, you just can't do it. But the thing is, like, they don't know. They don't know who you are. They don't know what you're capable of doing. They don't know what you work on, and it pays off.
That's a good segue into the next question, bro. What advice would you give now? Because it's different from when we were growing up to now. What's the advice you give these kids nowadays growing up who want to be a college basketball player or who want to be a professional basketball player? What's some things that you would tell them they need to do?
Definitely work every day, and typically work every day, work hard, do your thing, don't cheat yourself. But the thing is also, I see a lot of, I don't know what it is, Eve. I see a lot of these kids thinking they're going D1, and it's great to think like, just like people doubted me, but I would say you have to do what's best for you. Like, be realistic.
Yes.
Because you have to be realistic, because like you said, 1% go D1, major D1. I don't even know what that percentage is. Just to get a D1 scholarship, I know a lot of players. I know a lot of players now who are one of the best. They're struggling to get offers, and you have other kids like, no, I want to go here. I want to go pro. That's. I'm not saying it's not your cards, but you're not going to Syracuse University. You're not getting that look. You have to understand that you have to go to a place where you're going to do what you got to do. You're going to get the exposure. If you're playing well, you'll get those looks. There's guys D2 that's going to the NBA right now. You don't need to go to the best school. You just need to go to the right school for you. So I feel like that's one of those things with guys who are pretty good, but like, that level where you're potentially good to go to school for free. You could play D2 ball, D3 ball, maybe low D1s. That's cool. Like, you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. You're going to school for free. You're going into a place where you could play. A lot of there's kids that's better than you that's going to these schools that's not playing at all. So like, if you be realistic, it's gonna work out for you as long as you keep working, do your thing. They're gonna find you. You know what I mean? And that's one thing I never got that Nikolai to tell me. If you keep working hard, these people are gonna find you. You know what I mean? You're gonna get exposure. So you don't have to worry about it. Just keep doing what you got to do, and everything else will pay off.
Yeah, patience, man. Patience. A lot of kids ain't got it.
It's hard when you're young. You're used to getting everything, especially nowadays. You know how fast you getting stuff now.
Oh man, click of a damn button.
If you can't get it now, you kind of. I was an impatient kid. Now I see like, we're in a time where it's a now time. If you don't get it now, as you see now, like the transfer portal, people talking about you leave right away. You know how many times I said I was going to transfer out of Syracuse? It was like an empty threat. I'm leaving. I'm not going anywhere. Like, you gotta wait. I was just basically, it's an empty threat. It's like trying to rob everybody. Get down. I'm not listening to you. Just keep walking. But now, like, nowadays, I feel like everyone's so ready to quit and try something. Not even quit, just jump ship.
Yeah.
That you're kind of hurting yourself. You got to grow, and I feel like Syracuse helped me grow as a person, as a basketball player, and my mentality, like. Because it's kind of weird. Everything kind of happens full circle. Like, after you finish my first Syracuse career, the same thing happens. Like, oh, I'm not playing again. It's not like you go pro and you go through these phases where we're not playing this time. Oh, you haven't played in 3 games. We need to go out there. 20 points. Oh, we're not playing. Like, it's the same things that keep happening. And one thing Syracuse mentally prepared me for is situations like that. To the point where I'm playing my team in Japan, leading scorer, and I'm telling my coach, don't start me. I'm not trying to start out here. Just start at 5 because I know when I'm coming in, this game, all right. And he loved it. He loved that strategy because I come in 6-man, 5, and then it was pain. It was complete hell. So I feel like your situation now is preparing you for your future. So you're working hard. You're not getting the things you look, but if you keep working hard, you're gonna get that. It's eventually all gonna come.
Good advice too, because the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Sometimes you just gotta fucking take care of your grass that you own right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
That like you said, that fighting through those ups and downs at Syracuse, not transferring, allowed you. Obviously, you didn't want to fucking sit out a year and do all that shit, but at the end of the day, that all those experiences and ups and downs helps you for where you're at right now, and it made you better player, better person.
Yep, definitely. And that's the advice I can give to everybody. Like, you keep doing what you got to do, you're gonna get what you want. So just gotta stay focused, stay disciplined, and kind of really stay humble.
Yeah. Last question, bro. We'll get you up out of here. Talk a little bit about this year's team. What do you think about this year's team? And obviously, struggling a little bit, 5-5, and obviously with the postpone right now.
Yeah.
What are some things that we need to do to get better? And what are the keys to being able to make a run into the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, well, I feel as if I only saw a couple of games. I saw a game against Indiana. I saw a couple of games, but I feel as if, we need to get defensively, we talk transition points off defense.
Yeah.
There's easy buckets out there. I feel like we do need to be more active on the zone, rebound more. Our big man was Edwards.
Yeah,
he's doing a good job. I feel like was it the game before Indiana? He found his role out there. He's over there being more aggressive. He keeps continue running the floor, doing his thing. And my biggest thing is get easy ones. I mean, I know we live in a place where there's a lot of threes being shot up. We have great 3-point shooters, but it's always easier for a shooter once they get easy ones to make more shots.
Yeah.
And you get a couple of baskets here and there, layup, a little mid-range, whatever. Then it opens up everything else. And I feel like transition. It's really, I feel like transition points. You need to get those transition points up. And I mean, obviously, I feel like take this time we have with these postponed games, and realize who you are. You guys obviously played in Indiana. You can handle the big situations are for you. You know what I mean? You know how it is to be in big games. You know how to win big games. So just take those wins that you have, and see what you do right with them, and also those losses. I honestly think with those losses, just wipe them. Just call like just forget about them and just take what you got from those wins, especially those big wins, and work on that.
Yeah, defense, rebounding, and if possible, get out in transition and make it easier on ourselves. Because being able to, especially now, bro, we don't have that main guy who really can break you down and get in the lane. Usually, I mean, on the teams that you played on, and
that's true.
I played on, we always had at least 2-3 guys who could you could just go ahead, and that makes it easier on everyone else, because now you get to collapse the defense a little bit. So if we can, get up and down and get some easy looks in transition, it's definitely going to make it easier for this team going forward.
Facts. And you got to just work. Defense has been Syracuse's thing, and defense is everything at Syracuse. Offense, we were all naturally talented scorers, and they are as they are now today. So you just really got to buckle down on defense, lock down, and everything will turn out well.
That's it. Well, there you go, bro, man. I appreciate you coming on, man, taking the time. I know you a busy guy, so I appreciate you hopping on, bro.
Definitely, for sure.